Computer. Lights. Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. Tuesday. Is there music playing at all? Are we doing anything? Today has been kind of a rough morning because Miss Japanese over there didn't give me my little cues that class had started. So, usually what I have is I have my Alexa set up to give me a 5-minute warning and a 10-minute warning, and it was very funny. She gave me the 30-minute warning and then just stopped. Oh, hey, dude, come here. Oh, you fell over. This. She gave me the 10-minute warning or the 30-minute warning, but then didn't give me the 10-minute or the 5-minute warning. So I'm just sitting here kind of tootling along, having a great day and not doing anything special. And then I look over and it's 9:02. And I'm like, well, there we go. George likes this. He thinks this is a fun thing to do. He just comes over and visits every so often. You're having a good day with George. Good cat. He's like, I'm here. It's a thing. I can rub his tummy too. Tummy. He's like, oh yeah, rub the tummy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're a goof. Goofy little cat. Anyway, so today we're going to work a little bit more on, we're just going to keep working on the things we need to work on. He's like, wait, what? And we got lots to do. So, yes, here we go. We had done the first 4 pieces of the truck bed, or truck pieces, yesterday. And now we're going to move on to, I can't tell if we have music or not. Oh, we do. Good. All right, we're going to move on. I'm just going to quickly take the brush here and brush off my desk. My desk gathers a lot of detritus as time goes on. Just bits and pieces, cat hairs and human hairs and all that stuff. So yesterday was my dad's birthday, and I keep thinking about all of the random tools now that I use that I kind of pilfered from him the last time I was there. And by pilfered, I mean I legitimately, he gave them to me, obviously. And I was down there in February, and I've told this story a couple of times. He was hanging out, and he and I were talking, and I said, hey, can I have all your drafting supplies? And he was like, well, I guess so. Why? And what he said was, absolutely, but why? And then I said, because I'll use them. And he's like, you're a comic artist. You're not a graphic artist. And I said, it's pretty much the same thing. Okay. He was okay with that. So, all right. The way that the tire is going to work is this. This inner ring is going to be mapped flat. And then the outer ring here, see how I went through and made this way too hard for myself? Really didn't need to. Now that I've learned how to do this, it's a lot easier to just do this in threes, right? So we're going to go to the side here, and we're just going to select this top part here. It still remembers a lot of stuff over here, doesn't it? Actually, the mapping, gosh. The problem is this blue sort of rig that it uses here is really confusing and difficult to understand. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take just the top part of this tire, and then we're going to unwrap it, and then we're going to do the rest of it in a circular unwrap. So we're going to go this way and take just the top part. That's this guy here. And this is only the stuff you can see from literally the top, right? We're not seeing anything else here. And I'm actually going to ponder the idea. Boy, it has a lot of stuff inside it, doesn't it? This tire is like super complicated. It really doesn't need to be. Like, there's all kinds of junk inside. It has layers of, this needs to be simplified. I'm looking at the tire and I'm realizing it has a gajillion things inside and it doesn't need them. Like, if we were to hit face over here on the face, can't really get inside there, can I? Okay. Anyway, I don't know. Kind of like, well, that's weird. So if we grab just the top of the tire, just this part here, the outer ring, and maybe this outer part here, and I think what I'm going to do is go through and take out this part. So it's just the ring itself. This will give us the ability to, write Goodyear on the side of it. That could be fun. You never know. Goodyear and Tamarbeshi, that'd be funny. But it'll allow us to do some work with it. Some of this stuff is painstaking. And that's just the way it goes. It's one of the reasons why I do this show. You guys can keep me company, since this is going to be boring anyway. you know? So now we've captured everything but the outside part of it, and pretty much the inner wall, sort of stuff like that. And then I'm going to say UV, project from view, right? And this gives me this, just this outer part, right? I'll shrink it down. We'll move it over. And then we'll go to the bottom. We're also probably going to be on a short. You are here. Hello, Brent. This is going to be a short show. Hey, Brent, couple of things since you're here. One of them is I'm going to leave early today because I got to call my flight and all that stuff and make sure everything is straight, and you know how that goes. So, hey, we could become famous. Look at us becoming famous. Anyway, it only amuses me because it's ridiculous. So we're going to have a short show today because I'm going to be prepping for my flight. I do that without knocking out that center section. Yeah. Because I got to go do the, all the... Oh, you don't print flight passes anymore. It's all on your phone. They'll just email me my pass on the phone. But I need to do all the United app stuff because my mileage number, I've forgotten my mileage number. And so I've got to go do that. But on the flip side, I'm totally flying a 777 tomorrow. I'm so excited. I haven't been on a 777 since I went to Japan. And so it is like the coolest thing. I love 777s. I don't know why we are flying a 777 ER from Denver to Houston, but we are. I guess they must need to be moving it. I'm guessing the plane needs to go from like a flight coming in from like Japan or something to Denver. Then they need to ship it to Houston so it can fly to Germany or something. But whatever's the story, I'm on a 777 tomorrow. And that makes me extraordinarily happy because I dig 777s. I dig big airplanes too. I cannot lie. I like big planes and I cannot lie. So anyway, I mean, you guys have known me for long enough now. It all makes sense in its own disturbing sort of way. Anyway, so I'm all excited about being on the 777 tomorrow. It's going to be the absolute coolest. So I got to get my United Airlines stuff squared away. I also got to call my doctor because I realized I ordered blood tests on Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. And I think I'm going to be back Wednesday afternoon. So probably won't be here to be on blood test duty. So there's that. I'm going to have to just move it a day. I will be back Wednesday afternoon. So I should be back in this show Thursday. So we're going to lose two proper Wednesdays. And then I'll be back for the Thursday show. It should be just fine. And this is me getting rid of all the outside or inside edge stuff so I can get just the wheelbase here. So, oh, thank you. Big turbines can't deny. I don't know. I'm one of those people. There are a lot of people who are afraid to fly. I am exactly the opposite. This is like a highlight of my life. I love getting on planes. I love flying. I love large aircraft. all good. I really do. One of the few people who just dig flying a whole lot. I guess I'm not few people. I'm sure there are an awful lot of people who love to fly. I happen to really dig it. It's one of my favorite things. Okay, let's make sure we've got the outside edge here. Yeah, I just feel like the tire is so weird. I don't know. I may have to remodel this tire someday. But today is not that day. Okay. Because frankly, that's really strange. Okay, so we're going to UV. We're going to do a cylinder projection. And see, it does these weird... What's the story here? Pulls. That's what I want. This projection right here. Just a tire. It's a tire. It shouldn't be. Ah, well. Brent, there are days, man. It's good to see you, Ghost Hand. As I was telling... Brent's going to be talking to Brent. I'm actually kind of curious, too. Did you fix your resin printer? I mean, like, I didn't even know it was down. Okay, so we've got now what looks like a train track here. I'm glad you're having fun there, bro. Okay. All right, Ghost Hand, I was saying to Brent, I'm going to be heading down to Houston to deal with my dad's stuff. So there will be no show for me until next Thursday. And then I'll be back here in Colorado and all will be good. But got to head down and help my sister with the storage unit that my dad had, which has all of his old books and things. My dad, that was his thing. Everybody has sort of their specialty. My dad's specialty was old books. And so he was really into books, which is totally fine. I mean, oh, I showed you my print, right? Brent? That it printed? I actually should fish it out of here anyway. I'm going to fish this out. And it's not quite ready for prime time yet. And I still have to be careful because the resin's still somewhat malleable, which means that I should be handling it with gloves, but I'm just not going to touch it. But I can show you where we are. Make sure that it's done dripping all of its oil. Or there. And take a look at that. Look at that. So we have one certified starship. Look at that. Yeah, it is. It is somewhat cheaper here to get a bus than a plane, but it also takes a lot longer. There we go. Put that in the bath. Let it sit there. Okay. So anyway, yeah, we have a first print, and it's a Baker class ship, which one of my beloveds. So I got a number of tools over here for this. And this belongs with my printer, not in fact over here, which I don't get that, but okay. But anyway, we made ourselves a Baker class starship. I have snips. There's the snips. Got myself some snips for snipping. Well, and you're not totally wrong. It actually will take 24 hours, give or take. It's 18 hours. It's an 18-hour drive from Denver to Houston. So, and that I'm actually going to do both because I'm going to fly down there. The real reason I'm flying, because it is cheaper, just like it is in Brazil. It's cheaper, cheaper to drive. But we picked up a moving van, and we're going to load all of Dad's stuff into a moving van that we want to keep up here, and then I'm going to drive the moving van back to Colorado. So, yes, that's one of the reasons why I haven't flown a lot. Between Denver and Colorado, or Denver and Houston, I've done that drive so many times in my 40-something years of life. I cannot tell you. My dad was transferred here in 1974 when I was 2 years old. And so, my whole family has been in Houston, except for my sister, myself, my mom, and my dad. When my mom and dad divorced when I was 8, my dad moved back to Houston. And so from age 8 to literally, March of this year, either my mom and my grandparents were driving back and forth through this path, or my dad and my sister and I were going back and forth, or when my sister and I got old enough to drive ourselves, we would drive back and forth. So I have literally driven this route, I don't know, 100 times, 200 times. I don't know, since 1974. Goodness knows how many times. I don't even need a map anymore. I don't use maps. So, I just drive it. I don't even think about it. And there's like two different routes. There's one route that heads fairly close to Brent, which goes out across Kansas and then down at Salina, on Interstate 35. I like that route, but it's boring, but it's fast, and you never have to slow down. Yeah, just like you from Topeka to Denver, same thing. It's just like, oh man, it's like we just do this. It's like this route. This is such a route. But anyway, so I think this is probably going to be the last time I'm going to do this route. I said that the last time we did this, but then there's this one more pass that we've got to go through. Who are these guys? Are they interior pieces? Because if so, we've got issues. Because in theory, I have all the pieces of the tire here, right? Should look like a pineapple slice. It does kind of look like a pineapple slice. But what are these guys? So, yeah, I mean, this is... And of course, every time we drive these routes, it's full of memories. You know, my mom passed away in 2002. And I can still remember, you know, making jokes about all the cities in North Texas because they all have weird names. And I can hear my mom's voice as we sang little songs about all the goofy towns in North Texas as we drove through it. And so every one of these is that way. Driving through Texas listening to Irish music because my dad was really into Irish music for a very long time. And so he would listen to Irish music, and so we'd sing Irish tunes. My dad wasn't even remotely Irish. I would like for you to know. He's not even a little bit Irish, but he loved Irish music, and that was his thing. So we'd listen to Irish music. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I listen to Japanese music and Korean music, and I'm not even remotely Japanese or Korean. But Dad never went to Ireland either, so I don't even. I mean, at least I went to Japan, so I kind of have a nostalgia of living in Japan. But yeah, Dad would listen to Irish music, and Mom would listen to musicals. So we'd listen to Evita and Jesus Christ Superstar and Phantom of the Opera and, you know, those big hits of the 70s and the 80s, those big rock musicals that started coming out. Cats. I remember us listening to Cats. Well, I completely agree. I didn't actually mean. I mean, I was saying he's not even remotely. And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm not even remotely Japanese, but we all know that I listen to Japanese music all the time. And you're still set for Japanese, which I'm not sure about that. Anyway, we're gonna have to figure out where all of these things are. And highlighted it somewhere. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And feel free to do so. Should have highlighted that particular. Do we see a highlighted? I don't see a single highlighted thing. I really legitimately don't know where this is. Like, I don't know what that is. There. I see the one dot. Sure as the world, it's centered. So the tire has too much complexity. It's not hollow at all. Yeah, well, she's been talking to it in Japanese too. Remember, both my wife and I spent many years in Japan, so we both actually speak Japanese. She's just irritated because we don't know what. I mean, like, there's phrases you can use, and we're not sure what the phrases are. Like, she usually wants to know what the temperature is like in Boulder, and I I can't get it to understand it. Because if I say computer, Boulder no tenki wa? Computer, Boulder no tenki wa? Nan desu ka?
すみません。場所がわかりません。
And what it's saying is, I can't hear you, or I didn't understand that. And it says, I don't know where you're talking about. And that's what it says. So it's like, I can't ask it for Boulder's weather. So I'm like, and that's what she asks for every morning. She comes in here and asks what the weather is for Boulder. Maybe city. Computer. Boulder shi no tenki wa nan desu ka?
すみません。
No.
指定された場所がわかりません。
It just doesn't know where Boulder is. That's really weird. Maybe. Computer. Kyou no tenki wa?
ウェストミンスターはおおむね晴れで、気温は摂氏0度です。今日は雲が多い天気となるでしょう。予想最高気温は12度、予想最低気温は0度です。
So it does actually give me today's temperature and today's weather. And it was like that was actually a good report for here. And I guess really it's not that much different between Arvada and Boulder. I don't know. Computer. Boulder, Colorado ga shi desu ka? Wakarimasu ka? Yeah, see, it doesn't understand. Shrug. So yeah, we can run flat here, but also I feel like,
わかりません。
yeah,
ごめんなさい。
いいよ。気にしないで. I feel, oh, it's so cute. Whenever you say goodnight to it, it sings a little song. It's so adorable. It doesn't have a procedure for it anymore, but it sings a little song. Okay, so my tire is really thick. Like it's got a bunch of internal a little bit. They haven't really shown much interest. So the thing about the kiddo, they like to argue with whatever it is that mom and dad want. They're the most teenager kiddo that I've met. So we've started talking to each other in Japanese, my wife and I, so that they can't understand what we're saying. And in hopes that, reverse psychology, he'll learn Japanese. But when my adopted kiddo comes over here, she speaks in Japanese at full speed because, of course, she will never slow down. And so she just blasts us in Japanese. And we're like, dude, we haven't spoken Japanese in years. Lay off. But so it's kind of a thing. But yeah, we have issues with that. We're working on it. Okay, so I don't know what to do with these 4 rings. Right? These 4 rings are internal rings of the tire, and I'm not sure I want to spend any time. I wonder if I can do this. Take this, just these pieces here, and apply to a metal. She was supposed to do 2020, but then COVID happened. I mean, literally, she was going to come here in July of 2020 and stay for the remainder of her high school career and into college. She was just going to go to college at CU Boulder. And then COVID happened and Japan locked down and wouldn't let her go anywhere. And we couldn't get her paperwork cleared and we couldn't get her visa cleared, and I mean, it was a disaster. And so now she's at a different school, and I want to say she's in Kashiwa, maybe Kashiwa, which is a suburb of Tokyo, kind of north and over. But she takes like 4 trains to get there now, and 4 trains to get home. And she's home at like 8:30 or 9 at night. She'd rather be here, but she was supposed to. So what the current plan now is she's going to finish high school and then come stay with us for college. Hopefully Omicron variant lays up because Japan just locked down again. And so we'll have to see. I mean, she's gotten her vaccine now, and of course this family is vaccinated, so we're both vaccinated. So theoretically, we could have her here, but they've locked down again and won't let people in or out, and so we're having issues. In theory, I wonder if I can select just these guys, right? Like, how do I select just these? Because I need to delete what I've selected over here, right? So I don't know. Can I just hit delete? No. I know there's a way to do a shell unwrap of something where it just takes the shell. And if I'm working in minis, I might need to learn to do this. Because legitimately, when we deal with minis, especially, I just exported my character from Daz Studio. I have her set up in Daz Studio. I put little horns on her because she's a tiefling. And I modeled horns, and then I'm ready to send her to the printer, but she is, of course, she's a Daz Studio model, and that means that she's, 150,000 faces. That's a lot of faces to send to the poor printer. And so I'm kind of like, I need to figure out how to take a shell because, of course, it's a Daz Studio model. So it's got her body, then it's got her clothes, and it's got all of her equipment. Well, underneath her clothes is her body, and we don't need these underneath these faces, don't need to be rendered because they're under clothes. So we need to figure out how to. I've got your mini. It's in my STL directory, I noticed. In fact, we could work on that if we ever figure out this tire. We could go to that, and I can put this on hiatus until I get back next Wednesday. And I'm feeling kind of frustrated. I don't know if I want to. This is the way I want this tire to be mapped out. I don't want it mapped out with all these little internals inside there. I'm not sure how to get the internals to Zorch. Let's try Blender, delete internal geometry. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Removing internal geometry before 3D printing. Well, there you go, right? I know you are. When you gave me that STL, the concept was to do it on whenever time hack. We've got. I had already said that, so. Yeah, so 2 cubes. Huh. Okay. So can we do that? Extrude faces. No. Delete faces. answer from Gwen's just select and then internal faces. Let's go back to modeling. Let's go back to our modeling mode. Okay, so we'll go to select by traits, interior faces. Go to object mode. Select. No. Box select, circle select by type. Active camera mirror, more or less. Select grouped. Select linked. It's not there. Select. That might be it. Did it get all the interior faces? No, because it kind of looks... It looks like it's loose as to what internal faces are. Since there's a non-manifold geometry, Control-Shift-Alt-M. Control-Shift-Alt-M. And maybe you should be in Blender first. Control-Shift-Alt-M. Control-Shift-Alt-M. It doesn't do it. Okay. We're not getting the points that we want. Select. I mean, it does get this, but if I do that and say faces, we're going to lose parts of the tire. Yeah, that's what I thought. So that got some of it, but you can see that we lost like the sidewall up here. Like it decided that was interior. It decided that was interior. What really needed to happen is I needed to build the tire based off of a path instead of building it off of a geometry. I don't know how to do paths really well yet. It's all right. I mean, really, honestly, at this point in time, what we can do with this is just take these guys right here and just move them until they're effectively on top of one another. It really doesn't matter because these are the inside widgets. Let me take all of these guys and just make them infinitely small. Right? because it's not going to matter. All of this stuff is inside the tire. So it doesn't really matter what's going on there. So we can take this guy then and make him not infinitely small because it's the inside of the tire. Inside of the pineapple. And we'll take this guy and just move him there. There'll always be useless space when it comes to that because of the nature of the beast. There we go. And now we've mapped the tire. What's going to happen is somewhere down the road we're going to have to make better tires because this one's got way too much geometry and it's going to slow everything down. And especially if we think about this, we're going to literally have like thousands of tires in a set, right? Because there's going to be 4 of them to each vehicle. And if you have 10 or 12 vehicles, you got 50 tires, 100 tires. I have to reinvent the wheel. I don't know. Anyway, good enough for the day. So shrug, right? I don't know. It all works. We fixed the wheel. Okay. Where's my restream? There we go. All right. Okay, guys. So we really only have like a handful of things left. I think what I'm going to do, though, is make tires their own map for right now. And so because I'm going to do that, we're going to do this. Since tires are going to live on their own little universe, since you're going to live in your own little world, move this all the way up here. Then I can take these guys and increase them. I'm just going to use up as much space as I possibly can. With these super high resolution tires. Why do you have such high resolution tires? Shut up. It's harder than it looks. That's good enough. What, that I'm going to redo this later? Yeah, maybe. All right. Going ahead and recent. And good heavens. I did a lot of work yesterday. It did not, in fact, involve Bellatrix Rising. Okay, vehicles, no up one. Use this template for all maps. Because we need to do the thing. Screenshot time. There we go. And we'll bring this in. This song sounds very Christmassy. I'm just saying. We're getting to the point where we're tuning out most of this music. One of the things we should probably do before next year. Oh, well, thank you. I'm actually glad because we were all over the place last night. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Although it was really strange that all of this, like right what we've got right here, all of this is in StreamYard too. It's just that StreamYard can't put it on the screen like I can with Restream. But it's the same thing. We get this feed that comes in from everything, and it was empty. There was nothing there. And up on the other side where it shows how many viewers we have, nothing. There were no viewers. And it wasn't until we were sitting there going, gosh, this show is kind of flopping. There's nobody here. And then I'm like, not even Brent. That's so strange. Why would Brent not be here? And man, we were perplexed. And then we went to Facebook itself. And you guys have been sitting there chatting and talking away, and it wasn't showing up in StreamYard. And so it was like, this is weird. So I ended up with StreamYard on this computer, and then I ended up with Facebook up here to read what you guys were saying. It was so strange. Yeah, it was, but as far as StreamYard was concerned, nobody was watching. It was really strange. I'm just saying, it's a very strange thing, man. Okay. Export wavefront. I'm going to call this tire. Limit to selection only. Otherwise, I will end up with every last piece of this vehicle exported. There we go. Okay, the only pieces now that are left to map are the leg pieces here. These guys are going to be kind of complicated. The H frame and the walker frame, and then the walker legs. They're going to be kind of complicated. Yeah, actually, we've been talking about that. So not this Monday, but the following Monday, we're going to do half shows on Monday. So it'll be half my show until 10 o'clock, and then from 10 o'clock to 11 will be Geek Tank, which will broadcast probably straight out of Restream. Because I have the ability over here on Restream to set up a secondary account. So the question is, can I add Geek Tank's configuration to it. That was the problem, is that the brand folder profile doesn't seem to have the rig for changing out your streaming services. I like the chat window being up there as well. I mean, it's easier to see what you guys are saying. And like sometimes in Geek Tank, we'll be in the middle of a discussion. You will say something very fascinating, and we can't interrupt what we're saying because we're on a roll. And so, from your point of view, you're like, did they read it? Did they not read it? Well, of course we read it, but we couldn't say anything about it because, our guest is talking or something like that. Um, and though everybody can read it in StreamYard, all three of us can read it, despite what Dave Coyle was saying last night. He can read it. He just didn't know because, like I said, the stream was dead. So internally, he wasn't seeing all of this stuff here. He wasn't seeing all of these things. He was seeing nothing. It was empty. There was no audience comments. So, to him, he was like, I don't see what you're talking about, because he wasn't familiar with what should have been there. So, I don't know. We have a lot of controls that are above the screen here and over here and then down here that we can run that you don't see, obviously. Like right over here, we've got a timer that's running, and a light that tells us that we're live and how many viewers we have, which is 3. Um, so, and then of course on our StreamYard, we have this thing too, but it's off screen. And I like it being on screen. That's one of my favorite things. I love being able to talk to you guys. I love for you guys to see what you guys say, especially since, like, Brent, you'll be here on Facebook, and Ghost Hand will be out on Twitch, and you'll both be talking to each other, and you can read what each other says, which really works well. Oh, you've seen it. Yeah, you've been on the show. So, but I love that. I love the ability for, Ghost Hand and you can talk to each other, because you can see each other on the stream and stuff like that. And I love that part. So there's that. It's really cool. I mean, it's fascinating how powerful this software really is. It's worth it. It's worth it. The next thing is, can I configure it so that it runs properly to Geek Tank? If so, we'll just move over there. But it has to go out to the right feeds. Which maybe right now I'm feeding this to Geek Tank. So who knows? So it is 10 o'clock, and I need to break early today so that I can go call United and go call my doctor and do all the things that need to be done today, because I have a laundry list, which involves laundry. I need to do laundry. So I'm going to head on out. It was good talking to you, Ghost Hand. It was good talking to you, Brent. Wish me luck on this trip, because I'm going to fly down there tomorrow, and then we're going to load up a truck with all of my dad's stuff. And then Sunday, we're going to drive to my sister's house in San Antonio, unload the stuff that she wants to keep, and then Monday, I think Tuesday, because I think I'm going to stay with my sister on Monday, and then Tuesday I'll drive back and then stop in Amarillo on the way up here, and then that's where I'll be Tuesday night. Yes, you are very entertaining about talking to yourself. Confused, but okay, it works. So, we have, at least we did one thing. We got the stupid tire figured out, although I think that tire is really messed up. I think I'm gonna have to probably figure out how to make a better tire. Reinvent the wheel. It's time for us to reinvent the wheel. Okay, guys, it was good talking to all of you. I will see all of you guys next Thursday. So I'm sorry I won't be on a show from now until next Thursday, but please take care of yourselves. Be well. Have a wonderful time. I know it's starting to get hot down there in Brazil, so stay cool, my dear friend, because it's getting unpleasant, I'm sure, heading up into the upper temperatures that I can't deal with. I'm just not even bothering. And Brent, I think there's a snowstorm rolling through here Friday now, so it may be heading your way after us. So it might be this weekend. Anyway, that'll prevent me from driving that route back. So I'll see you guys all later. It was wonderful talking to you, and I'll see you next Thursday. And remember, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye. Computer, good night.